Okay. Well, the lighting's crappy, but whatever. All right. Hello. Hello. Welcome in. Tonight is day 22 out of the 44-day challenge. And this moment feels powerful in a very quiet way this go round. So I am halfway through the third Enneagram out of five. So we walk the Enneagram 5 times in the 44 days, which I've mentioned before. And this is halfway through the third. Um, and both Chronos and Kairos, the how we're walking the Enneagram, we're walking it through Chronos time and Kairos time. We're also on point five. So this is the point of no return, and it's the literal like hinge. This is the moment where the entire spiral tilts and your inner world like reorganizes around a new center. So this is crazy because it's landing on a new moon, which tells me the architecture of this ritual is responding exactly the way it was designed to. So I want to begin with this because it matters. I built this system intentionally. The spirals, the shock points, the black line, the red line, the white lines of magic, the timing, the geometry around it, the lunar structure, the natural mechanics of identity change and transformation. I designed the container on purpose, but I didn't script my own personal breakthroughs. I didn't plan on how my emotions would shift. I didn't plan on what realizations would land on which day. I set the architecture, and then the synchronicities are the architecture responding. So, when you align yourself with natural law, synchronicity stops being random. It becomes predictable, it becomes coherent. So, yeah, I built the structure, but the real time parallels are showing me that the structure is alive. So, in the mechanics of the Enneagram spiral, point five is the internal turning point. So the Enneagram, as we know, has the 9 points. So point one is intention, two is tools, three is it's basically the shadow shock. So this is the feminine, the receptive. Point four is the limiting pattern fighting for its life. And then there's point five. So point five is different. It's black magic, but it's the moment where the inner conflict finally stops. You know you're ready to go on because you feel quiet. It feels neutral. It feels clean. It's not stagnation. It's not apathy. It's like the calm before the storm, the moment right before you dive off the cliff. And I don't mean that destructively, like a destructive storm or anything, but like the storm of movement, of action, the storm of alignment, like finally ready to express itself. Point five is the moment where you stop negotiating with the old identity, the moment where the decision is already made, even if the action hasn't happened yet. And the reason that this feels so precise is because the ritual of light is built on the Enneagram. I didn't invent these points, I didn't create this emotional pattern, but the Enneagram already maps this: the descent, the shock points, the pivot, the ascent, and the embodiment. It's the blueprint of internal motion. All I did was take the Enneagram off of the page and turn it into a ritual that you can live inside. So when you reach point five, you feel this neutrality, this quiet inevitability, this clean shift inside yourself. It's not random. It's the Enneagram doing what it has always done. The ritual simply makes it visible. So most people never recognize when they reach point 5 and they keep cycling back. So when they because so point 5, it's not loud or dramatic or emotional. Point 3, like if we go back, so point 3 is obvious, point 4 is obvious, but point 5 is really subtle and you cannot see what you cannot see. So people mistake point 5 for nothing and think that they're stuck. They think they're flat or plateaued. They think that motivation is dropped. They think maybe they're losing their momentum, but the truth is that point 5 is that moment where resistance dies. It's the moment where the inner storm ends and the new identity begins to form. So, you know you're at point 5 when 1, your exhaustion stops feeling emotional and becomes clean. You're simply done. 2 is the inner argument goes silent. Um, the oh my god, brain. Sorry, I am tired. Where was I? Okay, so 1 is when you're tired, you're done, you're good to go. Okay, wait. 2 is the inner argument, your inside like fight, it goes silent. You don't debate anymore or spiral. 3 is you stop trying to fix the old version of yourself. It loses its grip. And then you the next one is you feel no desire to go backwards, even if forward is unclear. 5, you feel like you were waiting for something, but you can't name it. It's like the calm before the storm, like you're waiting and expecting something, and it's just like, where is it? Right. And then 6 is you stop forcing the next step. And that's when the resistance dissolves. And then the 7th step is your future feels more real than your past. So this is the tipping point of point 5. It's quiet, it's neutral, it's clean, and it's final. So the first half of this part of the journey belongs to the black line of magic. So that's shadow and descent, that's truth under the surface. This is the unraveling of the old identity. Point 5 is the last breath of that descent. So it's got to die so that you can be reborn onto the red line of magic. Tomorrow is point 6, and point 6 is that's the point that begins the red line that pushes us into the red line. So that's action, movement, um, will, direction, energy. Point 5 is the calm, and point 6 is the movement. Point 5 is acceptance, point 6 is expression. So this is why point 5 feels still, because it's death, and point 6 feels inevitable. All right, and then everything, the timing. So it's falling on a new moon. The new moon is this evening at like 10:45 or something PST. And a new moon is the lowest point of emotional pull. I don't know how deep you are into Gurdjieff's teachings or feeding the moon or any of that, but the moon is at the lowest point of its effect on us. So it reveals clarity without chaos, truth without distortion. It's the silence where you can actually see yourself, and I believe it's in Scorpio. But the new moon amplifies, the new moon reveals. So the fact that point 5, which is the moment of internal inevitability, is aligned with a new moon during a spiral, which this one is themed release and restore balance. It's not a coincidence, it's resonance. And so the synchronicities have been off the charts, and not just one or two, like everywhere. And that's the thing with synchronicities, though. They're not random, they're structural. These are synchronicities in my timing, in my clarity, in my emotional stability, in my ideas, in my content, in the moon, in things people say to me, in the topics I'm studying, in my nervous system. Everything is mirroring the same message. And it's not because I'm looking for signs, but it's just because the inner spiral and the outer world align, and synchronicity just becomes the language of reality. It's the architecture revealing itself in real time, and it's freaking surreal, dude. It's a trip. It is precise, and it is too coherent to call coincidence. So, if you're moving through your own transformation, if you're walking this with me, like, I want you to know this. There will be a moment where the old identity loses its authority. There will be a moment when fear can no longer steer you. There will be a moment where the inner argument goes silent. And that moment when you're ready to move on truly is point five. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, it's not overwhelming. It's just calm, neutral, real. It's the quiet moment where you outgrow your old life without effort. So tomorrow I'm moving to point six. So that's the active point. And this is the moment where the decision that I made tonight becomes visible. The moment where clarity turns into motion. The moment where alignment becomes energy. So point five is the calm, and then point six is the wind picking up. Not chaos, not destruction, but movement. So next week we'll see where I'm at. I'll check in. Thank you for being here with me in this quiet but powerful moment. Point five is one of the most important places in the entire spiral, and most people never recognize it. So I appreciate you for walking this with me. I will see you next week. And yeah, we'll see where it's all at. And, blessed be and all the happy things and good evening and, you know, kumbaya and namaste, whatever. All right. I'll see you next week.